record button, and we're recording.
Wow. Right into it.
Right into it. Nexus. For people dealing with depression.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Hi everybody. Precarious Pixels here. I'm Tim. With me as always is...
I'm Bob.
And that Nexus commercial was sponsored by WandaVision. WandaVision. What is this show? Is it a commentary on American life? Is it Marvel really messing up their fandom? Who knows? We'll find out.
I don't know they're messing up anything.
I don't think they're messing up anything. I think the first 3 episodes were a very good test in patience. So like before you get into like the real meat of the story, we still don't know why she does it as a TV show. Like there's still like that is like if nothing else happens in the next episode, why it has to be a TV show? Why is it like a TV show? Why is it have to be like to make the children for the children? Because that's what obviously spoiler alerts for WandaVision. That's what Agatha wants. She wants her kids. So why did it have to be a TV version? Why did Vision have to be there? We're going to jump ahead. Why is there a giant black book that could be a bunch of different things? Obviously some sort of witch spell book thing. Like, what is any of it? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that was the best song they've had in the entire show so far.
Oh, the one where she's singing?
It's Agnes All Along.
And I gotta tell you, that actress, Catherine Hahn,
yeah, genius.
She could pretty much do any era, any like. I heard they're doing a I Love Lucy, Lucille Ball like movie with Nicole Kidman, and I'm just like, maybe they should just call Catherine Hahn.
Are you serious? They're doing that too? Did she not learn her lesson with Bewitched? Because was she not in Bewitched?
She wasn't Bewitched, which honestly now Catherine Hahn should have been. Well, that was like a weird snake eating its tail twice concept. Like, I'm in a show about an old TV show that's about a witch, but I'm also really a witch in real life.
Is that what Bewitched was?
Yeah, it was like I'm making a TV show about being a fake witch, but in real life I'm a real witch and not and also an actress. Like, it was the weirdest nonsensical thing that you could imagine. It should have just been about a woman who's a witch living at just do what the TV show was, just do an updated version of it.
No, that's not hip enough.
Yeah, it had to be a TV show about a witch making a TV show about a witch, and it's ridiculous. But anyways, yes, they are. She is doing Lucille Ball movie, which I'm sure will be great. She does good stuff. I watched the oh man, what's that TV show that she was just in? Big Little Lies. She was good in that, and the one that came after that, where she sang the theme song. It was with what's his name, Hugh Grant. It's good. It's another David E. Kelly book that I like that I'm going to turn into a TV show. But
David E. Kelly, is he the Boston legal guy?
Boston legal. I think Ally McBeal.
Lake Placid.
Lake Placid. Oh my God, there's so much we could talk about Lake Placid. Honestly, we could break down every minute of Lake Placid in another podcast, and we still wouldn't get all of the talking points about that movie. It is insane and good and insane. And Betty White is amazing.
Yeah, it was the origins of Sassy Betty White.
Sassy Betty White. I'm rooting for the alligator. Or crocodile. I forget it was an alligator or crocodile.
Doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter.
It was
a dinosaur.
Bill Pullman.
A dinosaur. And who else was in that? Oliver Platt.
Oliver Platt. Wasn't it Bridget Fonda?
Bridget Fonda. Oh man, I'm trying to think who else. But I'm sure there's some other good actors in there. But
doesn't matter.
So anyways, we got way off on the tangent. So yeah, Catherine Hahn killing it. And apparently a good singer too. When she did that like Munsters, Addams Family kind of like theme song. It was Agatha all along, and I killed Sparky too. And just like, I was like, I didn't think this is where this was gonna go, but I'm here for it. I am totally here for it. Can't wait. I hope it's a witch fight in the next thing, because I heard they're switching to maybe hour-long episodes now.
And whatever happened to Monica,
Whatever the Monica.
because she now has powers.
She now has powers. Which is kind of a weird thing too, because technically, she's had a million superhero names. Photon, Spectrum, Captain Marvel 2. Before Carol Danvers, the first female Captain Marvel. Mainly because
I don't think they'll use Spectrum.
I don't think they'll use Spectrum. Although in the episode when she gets her powers and she sees like the Spectrum, I think she's totally Photon, because they already set that up with the mom. Her call sign as a pilot was Photon. So just like that, Nick Fury used Avenger from Carol Danvers' call sign was Avenger. So I'm pretty sure that she's gonna keep that name, and like she's like, I'm gonna be Photon for my mom. Which is good. I think that was the better name. Spectrum is kind of a weird name. I never really liked it. I think most of the time in the comics they just call her Monica. They don't even like really call her. It's like, hey Spectrum, how you doing? Or hey Photon, how you doing? But I'm pretty sure now, I betting they're telling all their writers, hey, might want to use Photon for Monica Rambeau from now on.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Love to see.
Be great if we get a Captain Marvel versus Captain Marvel. That'll be Civil War 2.
I actually thought this was, I think, my least favorite beginning of an episode.
I'm trying to think how the beginning starts.
It's the Modern Family style.
It is. It's like Modern Family, The Office, kind of, and like a bunch of other like early, like mid to early 2000s kind of things. Yeah, there's definitely a ton of Modern Family in this one. I think more than The Office.
Yeah.
And Arrested Development, that kind of stuff too.
I didn't feel it. They should have gone The Office route or Arrested Development.
Yeah. I would have loved a voiceover, just a random voiceover from Ron Howard.
Oh man.
Because they
could have done that.
They could have done it. Like they could have like totally just done like Ron Howard. In fact, anybody out there, if you want to just take that episode and just cut out Ron Howard's audio from Arrested Development and put it over, definitely the circus scene, because that was I love that Dr. Darcy, Two Broke Girls, basically. Like I like the escape artist.
Broke Girls.
Yeah, I like that she's like in the world now. She's like, it's like, I love your show. it's like being in here is amazing. I definitely like that a lot. I don't think, and I've heard rumors that she is not in Love and Thunder, which is the next Thor movie, but she apparently shot some other things for Marvel. So I'm hoping that she's going to come back in some other movies here and there.
Maybe Doctor Strange.
I was thinking Captain Marvel too.
Maybe.
Because I'm betting because they're introducing Sword here, and I'm sure that'll lead into other stuff that's going to come later.
We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah.
Who's controlling the hexagon?
The Hex, which is what Scarlet Witch's powers are called. They're called Hex powers.
Yeah.
She was actually trained by Agatha Harkness to help control her chaos magic, is what they call it.
In the comics.
In the comics. They are nodding to that a little bit, but don't think that, like, it seems like, I don't know, because it's not like Doctor Strange isn't like a wizard the way Doctor Strange is in the books. His powers seem slightly more grounded. Like, they're odd. Like, he can go to odd stuff and go to weird dimensions and that kind of stuff, but it's not like I need an Eye of Newt and a, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, I make weird hand gestures and that makes force fields or whatever. Like, even he had an Infinity Stone in the Eye of Agamotto, which is like a real magical thing in the books, but it's like we just made it an Infinity Stone now. So
now he doesn't have that anymore.
Now he doesn't have it.
But he still has the powers.
He still has the powers, but he doesn't have the time powers that gave him.
Yeah, he can't mess around with what's it, Dormammu.
Dormammu, which I don't like. I think we talked a little bit of this beforehand, but we don't think that Agatha is the big bad. This is like she's working for somebody else. We think that because originally her kids come from literally a part of the devil. Yeah, so her kids were made from, in the comics anyways, from Mephisto, or how do I say I can't say.
Mephistopheles?
Yes, I can never say his name correctly.
We'll just call him Jimmy.
We just call him Mel.
Mel.
Mephisto.
Old Scratch.
That's right, Nick Scratch, another name for the devil, which is also Mr. Scratchy, her little bunny.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing that Agatha's actual son is who Evan Peters is actually playing. I'm betting he's Nick Scratch. Or maybe the bunny is Nick Scratch. I don't know.
Maybe he is the bunny.
Maybe he is.
Because they've never shown them at the same time, right?
Yeah, I guess not. But she's holding Nick Scratch in her little basement cave sanctuary thing. And then he appears next to Monica Rambeau later. So, yeah, this is I don't know how it would be interesting if Agatha is the big bad behind this whole thing, and what she needs the children for. I have no idea. Because they do have they have the twin powers. Is basically they have her powers, the one kid, who is probably, spoiler alerts, going to be in the Young Avengers, if they age them up to teenagers. And the other kid's going to be the new kind of Speed or Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Which I would be interested to see if they just he calls himself Quicksilver instead of Speed, but we'll see. Or they might not have any names. They could always just be the Maximoff kids.
Yeah. They already...
Tommy and Billy.
They didn't name her or her brothers.
They've never... That is kind of something they've pointed out, too, that they've never given her, I guess, she doesn't have a code name. Still don't understand what... I mean, I get that the director of S.W.O.R.D., the current director of S.W.O.R.D.'s like, there's a giant hex here, and I was here during the snap, and I'm all full of hopelessness, but also... There's a lot going on here, man. And why isn't there an Avengers? Anybody here? Why is there nobody? Nobody's called the Avengers.
Yeah.
You could call up Hawkeye and be like, "Hey, Hawkeye, you had a good rapport with her. Could you maybe come and settle her down and not have her destroy a town?"
Well, we don't think it's leading into Falcon and Winter Soldier, right? Because that was originally supposed to go first.
That was originally supposed to go first. I'm betting maybe they'll reference it, but I think what Falcon Winter Soldier is total action show. Is going to be just them doing what the Captain Americas usually are, which are more espionage, spy versus spy. It's like they're tracking down Zemo. Like that's what that's going to be.
Very Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, it's buddy cop. It's Tango and Cash. It's Stallone and Kurt Russell going out.
Going out.
Yep. Yeah. Because, hey, they were staring into each other's eyes very deeply. You saw that therapy session.
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't watch the Super Bowl ad?
No.
No?
Oh, you mean Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I saw that one, yeah.
Yeah. They were just staring.
I thought you were Tango and Cashing me.
No, not Tango and Cash. Yeah. But yeah, I can't wait to see how this all wraps up. Evan Peters, everybody who was like, oh, this is totally going to be the merging of the X-Men universe. This is not. This is 100% not. I had thought maybe Michael Fassbender or somebody else was going to show up, but at this point, I don't think so now. I don't think this is a setup for the Fox stuff. And I think that they want to maybe move away from the Fox people and make new Wolverines and new whatever. Deadpool will make reference to it whenever the Deadpool 3 movie comes out. Like, hey, whatever happened to all those guys that I was, hanging around with in Mansion?
They just have
Colossus. I miss him. I miss his steel booty.
I wonder if Colossus will come back.
I hope
if they'll
so.
keep him in Deadpool.
I hope so. And Mega Sonic Teenage Warhead. I hope they keep those people. And yeah, it's very well done. But we'll see what happens. The next episode comes out tomorrow, and I'm sure this is going to be the, hey, let me explain this. I have a feeling this is going to be an episode, like it's going to be like previously on, and it's going to be like, that'll be the episode title's name,
Really
and
set up everything.
it'll just be like why it's a TV show, why Agatha's there. It's going to explain what happened that Wanda went and grabbed Vision's body. Obviously, it was because they were experimenting. They wanted more weapons, which, if this turns out, and I'm betting this is what's going to happen, he makes a reference like, oh, we're launching in like the next hour or whatever. So launching an attack on the Hex or whatever. I'm betting it's going to be Visions. Like, he's recreated Visions. And they're gonna try to, but under his control, like, these are gonna be like, they're gonna be Ultron robots. It's gonna, like, and that's what's gonna happen because it's based off of the Ultron's components. I'm betting Ultron's coming back. James Spader. I want to look up on the episode list if James Spader's voice is listed on there. Be like, oh, Ultron's back. They did it themselves because they're dumb. What do you think?
What do I think? I don't think Ultron's coming back.
Oh, he's coming back.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I think, I think there's going to be some sort of showdown between her and Agnes. But I do think that they're also going to... I think this whole episode will be everything that Agnes has been doing.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be... And this would be the second time they'd have done this, right? This season, where they just switched perspectives for an episode.
Yes. And that's what I think is going to happen. Just like we kind of like they filled us in on where Monica came from, like what happened, like the snap and all that stuff, the people that came back.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I just don't know. Like, I don't know how they do that. If they do that this early. We'll see. Because you don't know much about her. Just know she's a witch.
Yeah.
And she murdered a puppy.
Yeah.
She created that puppy too, maybe. So.
Well, see, that's the thing. I think there's still some of this that is controlled by Wanda. Like, she wanted to have. I think she wants to have those kids, and I think she almost seems like she knows that Vision is dead. Like, she kind of knows that, and this is maybe a way to carry on his legacy. Like, she can't bring back Vision. He didn't want that. And obviously that's why she took his body. But this is like her way of getting back a piece of him, kind of thing. Like, having, like, oh, maybe Agatha saw her and like was like, hey, we can bring back your kids. I've got something that'll boost your power enough to do it. Or tricked her into doing it that way. But somehow that feeds into what Agatha wants. Like, having those, like, she wants those kids bad. It's like, I bit a kid once. It's just like, I was just like, oh. It's like, I don't bite. I bit a kid once. Like, okay. Hannibal. But let me tell you, Catherine Hahn plays it all, man. Comedy, terrifying, but always good.
Yeah. They're all good on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait to see what happens next. So, speaking of somebody in another person's control...
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. Ooh, feel that segue energy as we go and talk about. You've been playing Control.
I finished Control finally. I guess it wasn't finally. I wasn't playing it super long. Yeah, it was really good. I strongly recommend it. They do put one of the best parts of the game near very close to the end. The ending itself does feel a bit rushed.
No, you don't think it was like you think they kind of got to a point where they were like, we have to publish soon?
I don't know. It's not that. It's just so there's chapters for the story itself, and you do chapter 8, and 9 and 10 are maybe 45 minutes.
Okay.
Total. But up until then, it's like, 15, 16 hours maybe.
All right.
Just like exploring this really awesome building and all this other stuff. And then the last part is just, this happened.
Okay.
But man, the ashtray maze.
The ashtray
That's
maze?
what it's called. The ashtray maze, I believe.
Okay.
Is probably one of the best set pieces in a game I've ever played. And it is so cool. And you make use of every one of your powers if you've unlocked them throughout there. So,
okay.
you get at some point, you unlock the Shadow of Mordor mind control ability.
Really? Oh, for a second I was like, this just became Lord of the Rings all of a sudden?
Sort of. Well, that's one of the things from there.
Right.
If you take down certain enemies' health enough, you can hold down L1 and you can mind control them, and then they'll fight for you.
Right.
And you can have 2 of them, and then you can upgrade it to have 3 or 4.
Right.
But throughout this, so imagine a 70s style hotel.
Okay.
With like gold and brown and black and white, like hallways and doors, but constantly the walls and doorways are moving around you, sort of like Doctor Strange is a good example when he goes into that when there's that chase scene with Caecilius.
Oh, okay, and it's like they're in the mirror universe kind of thing?
Yeah, and everything's like moving around.
Yeah.
Imagine that, but more rapid, in between shootouts with these like ghost monster things. The hiss. All of this happening and constantly evolving around you as you're making your way through this maze. It's awesome.
Sounds like
it's the best.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's the best set piece in a game, I think, last generation, because it's technically a PS4 and Xbox One game. I don't think I've seen much cooler than that. The ending, whatever.
The ending is
fine.
So, like, the ending was not satisfying.
It was fine. It just didn't, I wasn't shocked by it. They set up everything.
Do we know what the Black Pyramid is?
Yeah, it's the other dimension, like the...
Spoiler alert, by the way, for Control.
The Black Pyramid is how you communicate with the dimension of the dead.
Okay.
But she and her brother,
when
they were kids, oh my god, they lived in a town, Tim.
Is their brother Alan Wake?
No, he's not, but ask me what the town's name is.
What's the name of the town?
Ordinary.
It's Ordinary where?
It's just, I don't know.
What was Ordinary Iowa?
Ordinary
California?
I don't even know what they said.
Wow.
Anyway, so they find something, and that something causes her to have this thing in her head, and her brother also.
To have the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. And he ends up getting, whatever. He works for the Federal Bureau of Control.
Right.
Something goes wrong, and he ends up locked up and being experimented on. And it turns out that the one scientist that was experimenting on them was under control of the bad things the whole time. Spoiler alert.
Oh, okay.
And the director also.
Oh.
And so the reason you see him shoot himself in the beginning, he doesn't. When it cuts away eventually, during the end, you see that her brother was the one who shot him.
Oh, okay.
All
right.
To stop him, and then whatever.
Right. Gotcha.
And she is the director now.
Yeah. Like the temporary director.
No, she's the director now.
She's the director.
She's the director.
Okay.
Look at me. I'm the director now.
I am the director. So is that the how it all wraps up? Is it?
Yeah, it all wraps up. She's in control.
Oh. They really get clever with that title.
Yeah, one of the last chapters is she has this weird sort of thing that it gets stuck in her head, and she is an assistant. She snaps back to being an assistant there, and the missions are collect the empty coffee cups, deliver the mail to the people at their desks.
Really?
And then you do all that, and then you find a package that you have to deliver to the director. You bring it to him. Cutscene happens where he gets he shoots himself.
Right.
And then, but in that version of the cutscene, it's you shooting him. And then you wake up, assistant again, do it all again, and then another cutscene happens, and this time it's him shooting himself, and then a third time, and it's the brother shooting him, and then that's the end of the game.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It
And
sounds
that's the
wild.
problem. Like the last, there's no epic boss fight.
Which is kind of something I thought. Are there boss fights in this?
Oh yeah.
Do you like? What would you say? Like it's a decent boss that represents a decent boss in Control.
Oh my gosh. There's one, the very first one you see that can do what you do, which is like the telepathic pick up objects and throw them at you ability, and like quick dodges while it's floating in the sky. It looks like it's almost in like a wheelchair.
Okay.
That's the first
Professor
one.
X.
Sort of,
You
but it's
fight-
floating in the sky.
You fight Professor X.
No, its name was something that I've heard before.
James McAvoy.
No,
Was it called the Beast?
It's not the Beast. But it's just like boss fights like that, and then those eventually become regular enemies in the game.
Oh, okay.
And then the next one will be a boss that's healing the other enemies around it. It looks sort of like an orb.
Okay.
And then they're just regularly there later in stages.
Gotcha.
And then there's like fungus monster hiss.
Fungus
Straight
monster.
out of Last of Us.
Oh, okay.
And then you find enemy
Clickers?
types, sort of, but they just walk at you. And they're
it's
much
kinda like
more
a clicker.
difficult to take down.
Clickers run, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also enemies that float at you, like sort of like they're in The Exorcist, like upside
Oh,
down.
really?
But they also, if you kill them, if you shoot them to death,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how else to phrase that,
Right.
they hit the ground and then explode.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. So it gets real intense, and that's all happening. Like all these enemies, except for like the fungus ones, are in that ashtray maze, while the entire world is revolving and changing around you.
Wow.
It's awesome.
Wild.
Yeah. So the game play is great, and the game design is great, and the story is okay.
And this is Remedy.
Remedy software, yeah.
Yeah, Remedy software or is it Studio?
Software.
Okay. And do they have? I mean, they do Alan Wake.
Alan Wake, Max Payne. They did Quantum Break, which was a great experiment.
Right.
But I think that was a lot to do with Xbox as well.
Right. And it seems like they do interesting experimental type games. Some are hits, some are not, but for the most part, they've seemed pretty successful.
Their shooting mechanics are great.
Yeah, they've always had great shooting mechanics.
It's just like some of the choices that the publishers make aren't so great.
Right.
So Alan Wake only being on Xbox, that annoyed people.
Yes. And this is apparently part of, like, they said that Alan Wake is part of this universe.
It is, yeah. There's a whole bunch of allusions to the city he was in, and this is without the expansions.
Right.
But like the city where all that went down, you could read stuff about him.
Right.
I think even the hotel that you go to, when you hit the light switches 3 times, it transports you to this hotel.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be from that city.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
All right. Ordinary.
That was...
Yeah.
When I heard that, I was like, oh. And then you have this shootout. They've rebuilt Ordinary because they're trying to like locate this original thing.
Okay.
And keep it trapped. They rebuilt it with like these red and white models of houses in the whole town across this ground. So you have this big shootout in like basically Crank 2, where you're normal size in this town wandering around, but it's all miniatures. That was fun.
Okay.
Just a lot of cool stuff that you don't see too much of in games.
But you would definitely play it again?
Oh yeah, I'd play it again. I'd recommend it. It's cool. There's unlockable costumes that you can just find. I found one just going back to an area accidentally because I was trying to find something, and there was just an outfit there from a mission I had done. And that mission was you basically fight a mirror image of yourself, and that was a side mission. So all the same abilities, but it's you, sort of. And you get like the outfit's awful though. I hated it.
The outfit?
Yeah, the one you get for doing that. I did not like the outfit.
You did not like the outfit?
No. It looked bad.
All right. Well, if you see the video version of this, we'll have that posted up, and we'll let everybody decide. But I've been watching some stuff.
Yeah, I care about that.
Do you?
I care a lot.
You care a lot. We're forever bad segues. But so I watched I Care a Lot, the movie, which is a amazing tour de force story that is so clean and crisp and clear. It is interesting. It involves so many twists and puts a lot of things in the real world. Uh, the main character, Rosamund Pike, uh, plays a person who, without getting in too many spoilers and stuff, deals with people who are going into living care facilities for people like elderly people. But the way that she does it is she kind of grifts these people. They might, she's paid off doctors, she knows how to work the court system with the judges, and she basically gets these people, mostly like cutting out their family who would actually care about them and like to see them, out of the picture almost completely, and then pays herself by selling off the people's assets and saying that like she basically becomes these people become wards of the state, and she is their legal guardian. So she has almost all her rights of the attorney over these people. So she's been doing this grift for a while and making good money off it and stealing these, people's like life savings, selling off their homes, selling off their cars, like whatever that she can to get money from them, because she just wants, like, she's got this greedy hole of, I want money so bad, I will be as ruthless as possible. And this is the character that you kind of see this whole most of the movie through, is her, and like her reactions to other people and so forth. And so far everything's going well until she runs into a woman who she finds out through a doctor that she is paid off and so forth, that this woman, she can get her declared legally incompetent, and basically she has no family, she has like no kids, nobody is like looking for her, and basically that she'll be able to carte blanche just like immediately get this woman put into a care facility that she controls, and has paid off the director there to basically like take these people and over medicate them so they're just like walking zombies, and she'll just be able to be like, well, obviously look how bad she's doing, so we're definitely gonna have to put her in this facility for a long term, and then just sells her house, sells her cars, sells everything she has, finds when she's going through her desk and selling her furniture, a key to a lockbox, and goes, since she's her ward, can go into that bank and open that lockbox, finds a bag of diamonds hidden in one of a book, and then finds out, she has her private investigator do a deeper dive, and finds out that actually this woman is under an assumed identity of a person who died years ago, and that is when Peter Dinklage enters. And Peter Dinklage, whose mother, Rosamund Pike, has put into an old folks home, is a drug cartel person, and he's basically like loves his mother very, very much, and what happens to Rosamund Pike and trying to get and Peter Dinklage trying to get his mother back is like basically what is the whole thing of this movie, and it is, you never know for a second what's going to happen, who could get killed, who's going to be like it's amazing. It shows a lot of actual problems with our system, and also how it can be taken advantage of, and it is brilliantly done. I don't know. I wish I could pull up the person who wrote this or whatever right now. Maybe I'll flash an image of it on the screen when we finally post this on YouTube. But they should be original screenplay or whatever book adaptation, whatever Oscar that they would get for this, they should definitely get. It is brilliantly done. It is a masterpiece. It is acted so well. Like, I'm sure all the actors who read the script were like, I will 100% be in this movie. This is an amazing story. This is an amazing character I get to play. Rosamund Pike was just like Gone Girl to like the 10th level. Like, I thought her character was vicious in Gone Girl. She's 1,000 times more ruthless in this. Like, won't hesitate to kill, won't hesitate to do anything, bite off her own finger if necessary, like to get what she wants, and wants money so badly that she thinks that's going to make her happy for the rest of her life. It is sad, but also you can't really root for it. You don't have real sympathy for it. And Peter Dinklage, you kind of have sympathy for, but also he's selling drugs, and some guy drops a bunch of pictures on his desk of people that are drug muling for him, and apparently 2 of them died in the process, and he didn't seem to care. It is incredible, and just the way it all turns out, which I won't spoil because you should watch this movie, is incredible. It's amazing. Bob hasn't seen it yet, so that's kind of why I'm being more vague. I don't want to ruin it for you, but if anybody, I'm sure people are already talking about it. I Care a Lot. Is not what you think of it as a movie when, like, I care a lot. Rosamund Pike's like, I care a lot to steal their money and take advantage of old people.
She cares a lot about it.
Who are just trying to, relax into their retirement. Yeah. But definitely worth a watch. I would say it's definitely one of my top movies this year. Well, I'd say I'm sure I'll have some more movies coming out that are going to be good, but I have a feeling that'll be in my top 10 for this year. Peter Dinklage, Rosamund Pike, all the other actors that are in it. I can't remember that lady's... Diane Wiest. Just kill that movie. It's so good. It's so well acted. It's so well written. It's amazing. Very well done. And they should all be congratulated. So,
I'm excited to see it.
So, would you say that I've turned your view on what you think about I Care a Lot?
Yes, it's turning.
Is it turning? Like, as in The Turning?
The Turning? Yeah, I watched that thing.
Yeah.
Woo.
Now, it's based off the...
Henry James, Turning of the Screw.
Right.
So that story written in the 1890s.
Right.
This, Tim. All right.
Is it a modern retelling of this?
You know what? I want you to guess when this movie takes place. I'll tell you that a major event happened 2 days beforehand because you... at some point hear a reporter talking about the funeral happening for this person.
Oh man, that's
And I won't say how you hear it because I want you to guess. All I can say is that there's audio of that happening.
Wow.
You'll never guess the person because it has nothing to do with Henry James.
Okay. All right, then. I'm going to say it takes place in 2008?
Nope.
Okay.
The person dying was Kurt Cobain.
Oh.
Do you know why, Tim? I can only think of one reason.
Why?
So they don't have cell phones because it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
Kind of. I guess.
Okay.
So here's the plot to this, and I think you might have heard this plot already this year because it's very similar to something else.
Okay.
A woman is a teacher.
Gotcha.
You only know this because you're told this by her roommate, because you never see her in a classroom.
Okay.
All right. And she's been hired because one of her students, who you've never seen in her classroom.
Right.
And I don't even know if she was really her student, but I guess she was, even though she meets her at this place, this manor.
Okay.
So I guess she wasn't. But I think they said she was. Great script.
Okay.
All right. Her parents died, and she's alone at this manor. So they brought on her as a caretaker and teacher for her, for this little girl. All right. Perfectly normal.
Sure.
That's how it works. So she goes to the house. It's a giant mansion. Cold open though. There's a cold open before all this.
All right.
Albino. I can only describe this girl as an albino without the pink eyes.
Okay.
Woman is in a car, driving away from this mansion. She gets to the gate. The gate doesn't open. She gets out, opens it up, starts to get back in the car, and long-haired guy behind her appears and I assume kills her.
Okay.
The end of the cold open.
Okay.
Alright. Whatever, right?
Sure.
Not even sure that's how this girl died.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, that girl's dead. But I don't think that's how she dies later in the movie.
Okay.
Also, not even sure if she was there. She gets hired as this teacher. She shows up, meets the little girl after meeting the maid?
What?
The live-in maid?
Oh, okay.
The matriarch of this household now.
Like that, like a housekeeper? Or?
Sort of like a housekeeper, but she's like 100 years old.
Oh,
And I'm pretty sure they put those, like, make my eyes look like I'm almost blind things in her eyes.
Oh, like the cataract,
lenses.
the cataract kind of eye look?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's there looking creepy and stern.
Okay.
But she refers to the kids as thoroughbreds. That's a line in this movie. They're thoroughbreds.
Like a thoroughbred horse?
Sort of.
Like,
which coincidentally is where you first see the little girl, at the stables. So she goes looking for this little girl, and she finds her, like, she hears some talking in the stables, and she, like, walks over and jump scare with a horse. And then the little girl runs out, and then they meet, and she's like, "Oh, I don't know who you are." And she's like, "I'm your new teacher, little girl." She's like, "Well, all right." And they become fast friends.
oh.
Aw, and the little girl's always leaving her dolls everywhere, says the nanny, or whatever she is, the maid,
Yeah.
housekeeper. I don't know what she's. We'll call her housekeeper. Mrs. Rose.
Okay.
That's her name.
All right.
Mrs. Gross. I'm gonna call her Mrs. Gross.
Mrs. Gross.
Anyway, so they're starting to do the studying thing, and then she wakes up in the middle of the night one night, and she hears voices at the one end of the house that nobody ever goes into, of course.
Okay.
And it's a man and a woman arguing.
Gotcha.
She walks over, it's like pitch black, she goes to the door, and just as she does, jump scare, Finn Wolfhard.
Oh man, Finn Wolfhard. Is he, did he come through the Upside Down?
He did not, but he is...
or is this a new Ghostbusters,
I wish.
sequel?
It would have been better.
Is this the Ghostbusters sequel?
She is the little girl's brother.
Yeah.
Who's back home from his boarding school.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
The Upside Down.
Yeah, the Upside Down. Meanwhile, let's learn a little bit about our friendly teacher's mother.
Okay.
Our teacher's mother is in an asylum.
Gotcha.
And she paints in a pool. Paints while in a pool that's like drained.
Oh, okay.
That's what she does.
All right.
And then are like it cuts to like at some point you see her go to the mother, and the mother is she's like, go paint in the art room, Mom, and the mother's like, I like it here.
Oh, okay.
She's just painting stuff, and that's whatever. So you know that her mother's a little out of it or crazy.
Yeah.
But other than that, she's pretty normal. She just wants to paint.
And honestly, maybe that is like a good place to
Yeah, it seems
paint.
fine.
Oh, out of the way, kind of like,
Drain pool. Who cares?
drain pool. You're not swimming in it, so use it for something.
So that's happening, and she's hearing these voices. She doesn't know who they are, and then then they start the thing that they do in like The Haunting of Hill House, where you just see like ghosts randomly in the environment in the mirror, but the girl doesn't see them.
Oh, okay.
And she's not like spooked by them or anything. And Tim, that's important. Do you know why it's important?
Because they're ghosts.
Because we're gonna get there. All right. Also, there's whatever's going on also has physical effect on the surroundings because there's this mannequin of like it's a mannequin of one of the great grandmother, the girl's great grandmother or something.
Okay.
And when she first gets in the room, it's in there, so she moves it into the sewing room. For the sewing room only exists for this one jump scare.
Gotcha.
She puts the mannequin down in there and like twists the head to the side and starts to walk out, and then the sewing machine goes off.
Oh man.
In the dark, and then she's like, "Oh, it's a kick pedal," and kicks it off, leaves the room, and then the mannequin head just snaps back for no reason. Doesn't matter because the rest of it has nothing to do with that mannequin.
Okay.
Or that family in general, like the rest of the family. So Finn Wolfhard has apparently been kicked out of school for beating up another kid and threatening him.
Okay.
And he's been like expelled.
All right.
Gone from that school. So now, but he doesn't tell them. Like he's just like, I'm back. She gets a phone call. Like the little girl answers it, and she's like, they want to speak to whoever's in charge. And Mrs. Gross doesn't get up. Instead, our teacher does.
Okay. This is weird. This sounds like a lot like Bly Manor.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Bly Manor?
Yeah. You know what that's adopted from?
The turning.
Yeah.
Of the screw.
Yeah.
But they did.
Why it sounds a lot like.
Yeah, but also they did a good job. It had its moments. I think it's not as good as what they did with Hill House. That first series.
The first season was great.
It's you almost wish that wasn't the first series because then Bly Manor would look even better.
They so there's another thing that's going on. She finds out that the teacher before her died.
Right.
And that
she dragged into a lake.
We don't know yet. And then that the Quint, I think his name was, the brother,
right?
Finn Wolfhard, had like really respected Quint, and like they hung out, and so, you know, the one time they came back to the house drunk, which is weird.
Okay.
All right. So then she starts to see more and more in the house, and then like there'll be times when the ghost face of Quint is overlaid on Finn Wolfhard. Whatever. It doesn't even matter. This movie's terrible, Tim. Jump scares. They throw like a fake giant doll in the pool, and then the little girl screams.
Okay.
So she comes running in, goes to save the doll. The doll comes to life, and like starts to like attack her while she's underwater. She runs, like she swims out of the pool, starts like freaking out, and then the little girl and Finn Wolfhard are just laughing at her. All right.
Okay.
Anyway, here's the end of the movie, Tim. She finds out that Quint had killed the other teacher because like there was an unwanted relationship there.
Right.
He attacks her, kills her.
Right.
Then you think that Miss Gross killed Quint.
Gotcha.
Which is entirely possible because she said something about it. She's like, "I know you killed him."
Okay.
Or you killed him, right? And then Miss Gross gets like thrown over the railing off the stairs and dies.
Mm-hmm.
She gathers the kids. She's like, we gotta leave. Get in the car. They go to drive, and the little girl's like, no, I can't leave. I'll die if I leave. I can't. And then she's like, we gotta go. And Finn Wolfhard is like, if you drive through these gates, I'll kill you. And she stops, and then the little girl's all mad at her. And then something happens where she ends up waking up. Like, that was a dream.
Oh, okay.
And then she for whatever reason encounters the ghost somehow, like, of Quint.
Okay.
Gets in a fight with him. And there's some way she kills him with, like, she gets the kid to fight back against him, and then he dies.
Okay.
And that's the end. No, it's not, Tim. She wakes up again. She wakes up again? She wakes up again in bed.
Wait, is this really a backdoor inception? A dream within a dream?
It's Clue.
Oh.
It's Clue, Tim.
Oh, my God.
Because this is the next ending. She wakes up in bed, and she's just like, guys, I know you see these things too. You know, what's going on? Like, why won't you? I know you saw him, and like she sees a mirror. She's like, I know you just saw that, and they're like, what? You're crazy. What's wrong with you? You're crazy.
Yeah.
And then she's like sobbing in a ball at the in this next to this stepladder they have in the room.
Okay.
And she falls asleep again, and this time she wakes up, and she's in the pool with her mother, and her mother's painting.
Okay.
Tim. All right, now that's the third time, right?
Oh.
Mother's painting. She's like, Mom? Mom turns around, looks her in the face, and this girl just screams. You don't see Mom's face.
Okay.
That's the end of the movie. Then...
oh, my God.
Then the credits start, Tim.
Is there an after credits scene?
There is an after credits.
Does Nick Fury show up? Or
it's worse than that.
Is it Deadpool?
Imagine all of the paintings on the walls of like birds and like candelabra. It's just a woman's hand running across these things. Slowly.
Bob is slowly motioning his hand just slowly going through the air.
And then she's dancing.
What?
Like underwater.
Okay.
And that's the end of the movie. Wow. I think the only reason the first teacher looked albino is because she's creepier.
Sure.
This movie stunk. It's a 0 out of 11.
Out of 11.
Out of 11. And you know what? Some of the jump scares are fine.
Yeah, but
the movie is terrible.
Yes.
And there's a reason it's a classic book.
Yeah. And honestly, I remember, like, in Bly Manor, they don't do that many jump scares. Like, a lot of it is just creepy on its own. Like, that was the thing I find that good directors and know how to put in a good jump scare every now and then, but don't overuse it. And only use it when they absolutely have to.
Here's a jump scare for you.
Sure.
The little boy, is playing in his room. What's going on here? And he's got like, she comes in and she's like, what's going on? And he sees like a spider on the ground.
Right.
And he like picks it up. He's got it on his arm. It's like walking all around his arm. And then she's like talking to him. Mm-hmm. And he goes over to, he has like a what's it, terrarium?
Terrarium.
Mm-hmm. And he puts a spider down in it.
Okay.
And I swear to God, it's like a bunker in like a modern war movie. This panel opens up, a giant spider comes out, eats the little spider, goes back inside. That's a jump scare in this movie.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
There's another one where it's just Thing from the Addams Family is attacking her while she's in bed.
Just a hand?
Just Thing from the Addams Family.
Oh.
So it's just a hand and then it's another hand, but it's like nothing attached to it. And there's no reason for severed hands. There's no reason. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. It could have been, like, you know what? It could have been either, like, you take it to one extreme or you take it to a minimalist approach, but you cannot take it to just nonsense. And you make your decision on the ending before you make this movie.
Absolutely.
Don't have 4.
Yes.
We don't need 4.
Which, funny enough, the fact that Clue, the 4 endings thing, was not the original release of Clue.
Yeah, it was each theater, like different theaters got different endings.
Yeah, which actually worked against them, but when it was released to home video and stuff, that was like the charm of it, because they put all the endings on they tacked them all on the movie, and that was like, people loved it, and probably one of the reasons that that movie gets a lot of replay that it does now, besides having amazing actors in it. Christopher Lloyd,
Tim
Curry. There's a bunch of other like amazing actors. I can't even think of who it is right now, but there's a lot of great comedian actors.
Oh yeah.
I forget who plays Mrs. White.
From oh my gosh, Blazing Saddles.
Yes, but also besides that, she's been in a lot of things like comedy wise. But so you were saying, don't watch this movie.
Don't watch the turn away.
Turn away. That's a good way to put it. And sadly, we must turn away.
I honestly think that they had that ending of the mother turning in the chair over, and they were like, nailed it.
Some screenwriters just doing a pile of coke and is like, yeah, I got this. Oh man, I got the ending, but that's all I got. The rest I'll come up with.
Get rid of the screw, just the turning. She's gonna turn around. This woman's gonna be so freaked out. The audience isn't gonna need to even look, man.
That's right. That's right.
I don't know why he sounds like Tommy Chong.
Yeah, and funny enough, in Blind Manor, like this takes place in the 90s, obviously, because of Kurt Cobain, and Blind Manor takes place in the 80s. Like, it's the same reasoning. They don't want people to have cell phones.
Yeah.
Because that solves all problems.
It would solve everything.
Like, it's hard to write around cell phones. I do have to say, writing a scary movie where it's like why, aren't cell phones working? I just watched another movie called, it's on Netflix, I think it's Ohana, which is basically Goonies, like Hawaiian Goonies, and it's really good. I would recommend it as a kids movie, but it has like the same kind of things, pirates and hidden treasure and stuff like that. No.
Hey, you guys.
So problematic.
None of that.
None
What's
of that.
wrong with that?
Yes.
Is he not a hero of the movie?
He is the hero of the movie.
So what's the problem? Because he's
how
scary?
No, because how he's portrayed, it's a little weird. There's some other stuff that's in that's a little weird too. I still like it.
I don't think kids, right? I don't think kids grow up in a world where they see something different and they don't think, oh, I'm afraid of that, or I'm going to deal with this in my own way. Like, kids are still going to see things that are different.
Yeah.
And they're still going to have to deal with them in their own way. Like, pretending they don't exist doesn't change that.
Absolutely.
Just make him the hero.
Yeah.
Someday, we're going to have to talk about a commercial I saw.
Okay. We will. But next week, I will talk some more. We'll have WandaVision to talk about. I'm sure there's going to be more stuff revealed. Not necessarily that the Fox X-Men are going to all show up. But you can find me online at Tim Martinek on Instagram. You can find Bob.
I'm on Instagram at Bob J. Martin, Marton, and I'm at Twitter at Martin_Bob. That's how Twitter works.
Yeah, that's how Twitter works.
You can tweet me, and I'll be like, hey.
and you can find us on Spreaker, Stitcher, iTunes, and this will also be uploaded to YouTube with a few extra graphics to it as well. So we'll see you next week, and as always, go out, create, watch some stuff, get ideas, make movies better than The Turning.
Yeah, I recommend
It's
it.
apparently not that hard. So, all right. See you next week, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.